Hey, how's it going, YouTube? It's TAG97 again. Hope everything is going very well with you guys today. So I'm going over a highly requested firearm for this week's video. I'm going over the Shadow Systems MR920 9mm. And guys, do not forget I have an Instagram. If you're new to the YouTube channel, I welcome you. And to go to my Instagram, go down to the description down below. Find the social media links. Once you do that, find the one that says Instagram, hit that link, and smash that follow button to my IG. You get anything that's exclusive that is not going to be on the YouTube channel that you see on my Instagram. You get stories, memes, or whatever else that you like to see on my Instagram. And you can even message me directly on there if you have a very specific question that I did not answer in the video that you're watching or any previous videos that you've seen in the past. I want to thank my viewers, subscribers, and of course my Patreon donors. Without your guys' donations, supporting and liking the video, and everything else that contributes to the YouTube channel, it would never be big as it is today. Don't forget that next week is my 1-year anniversary, and I hope that you tune in for that video. I also want to thank the lender of today's firearm. He wanted to name anonymous. He did not tell me if he wanted to be put in the video or not, so I'm just going to say he's anonymous. So thank you very much, brother, and let's get started. Alright, so let's go over the educational part of this video, or better known as specifications. I do want to say one quick disclaimer real quick that we're reviewing the combat version, not the elite, so do not get confused between the two, alright? So let's talk about what comes with the purchase of your firearm and what's inside of this case. So number one, obviously you get the case, which is really nice and convenient. If you just bought this firearm and you bring it to a range, it's range ready. Only thing you need is your eye and ear pro, and you're ready to go basically after that. And let's open up this nice case to see what else you get with this purchase. So you have your standard manual, which teaches you how to disassemble, maintenance, and everything you would need to know about this firearm if you're new to firearms. I always recommend you read your manuals no matter what, just for safety reasons as well. You also have your interchangeable grips for the back padding. Now, if your hand size is different, as in big, small, or just medium, doesn't fit right outside the box, this is a good thing to do, is make sure that the firearm fits comfortably in your hand, because if you're going to be concealed carrying it or just shooting at the range, you want to be comfortable and make sure that the firearm fits your hand, because it's being customized to you basically. You also have the tool to do that, just in case you don't have tools at home already in hand. You also have a lock, which is really nice, especially if you have children in the house. Make sure that the firearm is away from the children unless they are gun safe trained and they know what they're doing, but either way it shouldn't be messed with at all. And if you have a gun safe, I highly recommend you invest in one if you do not. And you also get 2 Magpul Glock magazines, which I'll get into later in the video. Now the main course of the meal, which is the firearm itself. I have to say, when I first saw this at the gun range, I was very skeptical because it looked like a Glock clone or a knockoff, and I was like, I don't know about that. But a lot of people at the gun range I've seen shoot, even I test fired before I got to this review, that I have to say I'm very impressed with it. I'll get a little bit later into it, but yes, it does look like a Glock 19, but do not let that distract you from what it is. Now, my Glock fanboys out there, you have to remember, try to be open to different firearms. Even I'm a big Glock fan. I love Glock, but when I do these firearm reviews, I'm always bias free and honest, and that's why most people like watching and subscribing to my YouTube channel. So this is a really nice setup for exactly how it is outside the box. We'll get in a little bit later, but let's talk about the overall sizing of this firearm. So it's basically the same size as Glock 19. It's going to be leaving you at 7.12 inches overall length, and that barrel length is going to be leaving at 4 inches unthreaded. Now the elite version does have a threaded barrel, which is good if you have a comp or a suppressor. That'd probably be the direction you want to go to, but for a basic concealed carrier just going to the gun range, this will get the job done. Okay, so let's get into the interesting part of this video. Let's cover the magazines that come with this firearm and also compatible with it too, the ammo we use in today's video, and the best recommended grain to be using with most 9mm calibered handguns. So speaking of the magazine, let's extract it real quick and let's talk about it. So you get 2 of these really nice Magpul magazines. They're 15 rounders, and of course you can have 1 in the chamber as well, so I'll have 16 overall, or 15 plus 1. And what's really cool about these magazines, they are compatible with the Glock 19. And speaking of Glock 19, some accessories that are for the Glock 19 can and will work with it from what I heard. Now, one I can confirm is that Glock 19 magazines will work with this firearm, as I can show you real quick. and we use it in the video for the shooting, and it cycles just fine. And I would highly recommend, if you already have a Glock 19 magazine, that you use it for this firearm. And since that's said and done, I'm going to put this to the side since it's not important to talk about at this time. And let's get into the ammo we use in today's video, which is Federal. I'll show you a picture real quick. We used 124 grain full metal jacket. I always recommend Federal and Winchester, of course, but today's video we use Federal. Now keep in mind, with the pandemic, I understand that ammo, just getting ammo in general, is really hard, so no worries. If all you can get is steel case or just low brand ammo, just get what you can get. No worries about the brand right now. But if you can, I always recommend Winchester and Federal for the best results. Now let's get into the grain you should be using. So for target practice, I always recommend, for full metal jackets, 115 grain to 147 grain. Now when it comes to concealed carry, I always recommend hollow points, and that's, I want you guys to stay a little bit more heavier grain, so carry between 124 grain and up, just for better results and accuracy. Now I do want to say that if you are going to conceal carry, I highly recommend you have hollow points, just for the simple fact that every projectile that leaves your barrel, you are responsible for. Okay, so let's go to my favorite part of the video, trigger poundage test. So prior to doing this part of the video, I made sure that the firearm is clear. There's nothing inside the magazine housing or anything inside the chamber, so the firearm is clear and safe to do this test. I want to say that the only safety that is on this firearm is just like a Glock, where it's on the trigger. So I have to find a very particular spot on this firearm to do that trigger pull. And I will show you that the tool is zeroed, and I'm going to have to find that nice spot on the trigger to make sure that we're getting an accurate reading. Once I get that nice feel to it, I'm going to start pulling, and we should hear that very distinct click. And there it is. Oh, okay, exactly 5, so that's nice. I'm going to try it one more time just to make sure. I'd rather always test it twice instead of once, just get a better reading. So we got to do the same exact thing again. I got to find that nice spot on that trigger to make sure that it will go off correctly. And here we go. I'm going to start pulling yet again, and we're going to get a nice reading, hopefully. Anytime now. There we go. So that time I got 6. That's kind of interesting. But maybe I was wrong, maybe I was right, I have no idea. But keep in mind that the trigger poundage test tool is not 100% accurate. It's just to give you a rough estimation. But like I said, to me it felt like it was between a 5 or 6 pound trigger pull. So maybe it is, maybe it's not. But that's what we got on our test tool. Alright, so let's wrap up these specifications with the weight of this firearm and the MSRP. So the weight of this firearm without anything inside the magazine housing or the chamber is going to be leaving you at 1.33 pounds, conversion to ounces, which is 21.3. So it's a very light firearm, and if you actually have a full magazine with 147 grain, of course it's going to have a little bit more different weight. But in my opinion, for concealed carry, I mean, it's thin, it's light, it'll get the job done if need to be to use. Now let's talk about the MSRP, because I know some people are going to be, getting angry in the comment section. So the starting price for the MR920 series is going to be $799. Now I can't say I've seen them in mom and pop shops or gun stores locally, because this is a new firearm on the market that I've been seeing pop up on a couple websites. Not too much as you would think. Like I said, this is the first time I really heard about it within this month. So I'm still learning about this firearm. It's very new to me. And like I said, I didn't hear about it. But if you're comparing it between the Glock 19, you're getting a lot more bang for your buck. So you're paying like an extra $200 to get more of your money's worth. So the upgrades that you would put on your Glock 19 would equal about the same as this, or even less. So I would recommend, if you want to upgrade your Glock but you just don't want to do too many things, or you're not very good with doing finicky stuff and upgrading it yourself, this is probably your best bet. It's already done and ready for you outside the box, and there's nothing to mess with. It's just ready to go as is. Okay, so since I am done talking about the specifications, let's get into the overall feeling of the product. Now keep in mind that this is my own personal opinion and preference when I talk about products and firearm reviews of this portion of the segment. So when I talk about the negativity, it's not that I'm bashing the company or trying to make them look bad in any way. It's just my own personal opinion, so take it with a grain of salt. So with that being said, I only actually have one negativity thing to say about this firearm, and I'll definitely going to be getting to the positive, I promise. So the rear sight, yes, it is nice. I do like the sights on this firearm. But for someone who uses MVGs to be shooting with handguns, I found out that, you know, it's not the greatest for that. I mean, yes, you do have the tritium sight in the front, so you can still do some type of point shooting and know direction your barrel technically is. But I like the 3-dot system better, but that's his personal preference. Other than that, the sights are fine and they get the job done. Now let's get into the positivity. There's a lot, so bear with me. The slide cut on this, I really like. That's very grippy on the slide, so you can rack it a lot easier, especially in the front. The sights are really nice, like I said, except for that one part that I said is negative. But other than that, the sights are really nice. It has a rail system, so you can put a weapon light system. The stippling on this grip is very aggressive, but not too aggressive. I feel like because I have sweaty hands, I always have that issue, that it will be a nice grip if I'm in a very high stress environment and I keep sweating. So I feel like I'll have a very nice grip on that. The trigger on this, I hate to say, but it's better than a standard Glock. Very nice and crisp, and it's very assertive too. Very accurate, and I would say probably durable too. I didn't torture it, obviously, but it seemed to held up, no jams or anything like that, so it looks good to me. The barrel is pretty nice looking, and the magwell is a nice accessory on here for sure. Makes reloading way easier. Other than that, I got nothing more to say besides it being a very, very nice firearm. It's very rare that I get to use a firearm that I am very satisfied with on his YouTube channel straight out of the box without trying to modify it. So other than that, there's nothing more to say except for what an awesome pistol. Alright, so since I am done talking about the boring stuff of this video, let's get into everyone's favorite part of the video, shooting compilation. If you do actually want to learn the specifications and know a little bit more about this firearm in detail, I recommend you go back. But if you got this far by skipping, then I guess stay where you are. Just do me the solid and hit a like button and subscribing, because that's always highly appreciated. Now for my new subscribers, I welcome you to the TAG97 family, open arms. You're always loved and appreciated, I promise. And I love getting a notification pop up on my phone saying that a new subscriber just came up. So enough wasting your time. Let's get into what you've been waiting for, and I really hope you enjoyed the video. I'll see you when you're done. So at the end of the day, after everything is said and done and shot up, of course, at the range, I had to say I'm very impressed with Shadow Systems MR920. What an awesome combat pistol. It's just a very nice handgun. I'm so impressed by this firearm. I really am. And I have to say it's extremely recommended and TAG97 approved 100%. If you have some extra change laying around, or with the stimulus check that's coming out apparently, maybe you should look into buying this handgun whenever it's available. I have to say I'm very impressed with it. I really am. And it's just highly recommended. What an awesome, sexy handgun. And for my Glock boys out there, please open up your hearts and minds and try this firearm out. I promise you won't be disappointed. If you are, then maybe you're being closed-minded and you're just strictly staying with Glock. But if you love Glock and you really like the engineering of Glock, this gun should work for you just as well as it did for me. Other than that, extremely recommended. TAG97 proven. I'm very happy. Now I do want to show you the grouping real quick. So at 7 yards, it took 3 rounds to best availability, and the same thing at 25 yards. Now keep in mind I haven't shot pistol in about a month, and I'm kind of rusty, but always to the best of my ability, I do the best I can. Now keep in mind every sight picture is different on every firearm review I do, so the grouping is what I'm looking for, not really it hitting the bullseye. Just to see where those groupings are landing is what's more important to me than anything. Now, if you did like watching this video, make sure you do me a solid, hit a like button and subscribe, because that's always highly appreciated. Don't forget, next week is my 1-year anniversary being a YouTuber, and I hope all of you join the TAG97 family, and you're always welcome. So I got nothing more for y'all. I love y'all. Stay safe, stay healthy. I'll catch you next time, and thank you so much for watching.